What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, as we're here for our regularly scheduled programming here on Tuesdays. As after the NFL weekends, we come here in the afternoon and we talk, we vent, we see how we're doing, everything fantasy football. So, we're here today, guys, to recap week 7 of the football season and then get you ready for week 8 and make sure that you have those winning lineups set and you make sure that you take home that dub and we continue our way to the playoffs. As the playoffs, guys, is only 6 weeks away. Trade deadlines are coming up at the end of November, depending on what type of a league you're in and stuff like. There's just a lot of things going down. So this past week we had Bye Mageddon. Hope everybody survived, all that good stuff. So, guys, how we always do it here and everything, make sure that you guys leave your comments in the chat. Let me know how you guys are feeling. I put a poll in the thing. I want to see how your teams are doing. Let me know how your guys' teams are doing. We got good, we got great. You're winning it all, which means you're 5-1, 6-1. Not good, you're just not feeling good at all. And there's always next year. You're done. There's no way to come back. And it's been a bad season, but there's always next year. So, guys, let me know how you guys are doing this thus far in the fantasy football season. Let me know how you guys are feeling about it. If you're at regular NFL teams, everything else in between, and all of that. Make sure, if you guys have not yet, make sure you hit that like button on this episode. Make sure you subscribe. You join the conversation. Ask me any questions you got. I will answer them all, and we will be here until we get through all the information and we go through all the chats and everything. So, let's get to it and let's not waste any more time. And before we get into the chat and before I say what's up to everybody and we answer everybody's questions, let's get through all of the information that I have here for you. And then we will get to it. We will get to the end of the show and I will answer every single one of your guys' questions. So leave questions. Let me know. Remember to stay until the end of the show also and participate if you want to be the MVP of the chat and the MVP of the fantasy football show. First winner is going to be today, so make sure that you're the winner and make sure you do your thing. So let's get into it, guys. The Baltimore Ravens, they exposed those Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions couldn't do anything, and the Ravens just stomped them, and they made them look like they're the Detroit Lions that we all knew and that we all love. So we got the Lions. The Lions are the Lions. Tyson, who? The Bears quarterback? I was making fun of him last week. Well, he proved me wrong, and he went out there, and the Chicago Bears not only beat the Raiders, they had a walking over win, and they stomped the Raiders. Didn't see that one coming. Also, Tay and Kelsey, Tay Swift and Kelsey, Travis Kelsey, dynamic duo. I mean, I felt like I was watching the Taylor Swift concert on Sunday because they were talking about Travis, and then Brittany and Taylor have a handshake now, and all these random. I'm just like, okay. So I guess Tay and Taylor and Travis Kelsey are the new dynamic duo in the NFL, and it doesn't matter what happens on the field. It's all about Taylor and Travis. Hey, listen, I love Travis Kelsey. He does his thing for me. I appreciate it. I just don't understand why we got to talk about Taylor Swift. Just let her be. Let her enjoy the games, and we don't have to show her every 5 seconds. So let's get now into, and that was with the fantasy headlines. If you guys did also hear, we have some injuries that we'll be talking about. But for one injury that I know Jadis is worried about, Jalen Hurts will play this week. There's no big effect or anything else like that, but we will talk about it more. But I just wanted to mention that too. We got through Bye Mageddon, so there's a few good things in that. But let's get into it, and let's talk about the Monday night game. So the waiver wire pickups. Let's talk about all of that good stuff, the injuries, and not the waiver wire pickups yet, but all the things on the bottom of the ticker. So let's talk about that Monday night football game last night, guys, because it was the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. And I'll be honest, I don't know what happened to the San Francisco 49ers defense, but the Minnesota Vikings tore them apart, and Kirk Cousins went from being projected to be a very low quarterback this week to scoring 33 points. Jordan Addison, he left the game for a little bit, but he had 2 touchdowns. TJ Hawkinson had 19.8 points. And honestly, the only guy that really didn't perform well on the Vikings was Alexander Madison. He got about 7 points. Everybody else, though, it seemed like got a little bit of a piece of the ball. So I don't know. Maybe the 49ers aren't the defense that we thought. But again, I mean, we all say that, but then again, we really don't know. And I was listening to a podcast and I was listening to what they were saying. And they said, like, we could say whatever we want and we could do what and you know we could think what's going to happen, but in reality somebody could just be having a bad day and they have a bad game. So it's just one of those things, just like Gardner Minshew decided to go out there and ball out against that Cleveland Browns defense after we saw the Browns defense look like gangbusters. So you just really never know, guys. So though the 49ers, they lost 22-17. It was a really good game. We stayed here for the end of it. And 49ers had an opportunity, but Brock Purdy threw an interception, and it was what it was. So the Minnesota Vikings won. The 49ers lost, and we go into the week. Brock Purdy had 272 with one touchdown and 2 interceptions. Christian McCaffrey he wasn't supposed to play. And I really hope you guys played him because he just went out there and balled out. He had 45 yards rushing. He had a touchdown. He had how many rushing? He had 51 receiving yards and a touchdown. I mean, it's incredible. George Kittle had 5 receptions for 75 yards or 78 yards. So it's definitely better than his 1 point. But I wish Kittle would have got the 1 point this week and not last week because I faced him and I lost by 4 points in one of my leagues. So I've now lost 2 weeks in a row by a total of like 14 points or like 13 points. So, you know, it is what it is, though. But yeah, so the Monday Night Football game was what it was. The Vikings won, and now they sit at 3-4, and the 49ers go to 5-2. We obviously saw the Dolphins go to 5-2, and the Eagles go to 6-1. We have the Lions at 5-2. So there's a lot of interesting teams, a lot of interesting things going down. So now that we talked about the Monday night game, let's talk about those injuries because those injuries, there's a lot of them, and it never seems to stop, guys. So we have Jalen Hurts, as I mentioned. Seems like he hurt himself during the game, but they did say that he will play this week. So no worry, Eagles fans. Jalen Hurts will be out there, and he'll be ready to whoop some butt and put on a show and do his thing. DK Metcalf was out this past week, and honestly, Jackson Niggu Smith, he looked really good. So if he's still out there, I'm kind of regretting not picking him up. I kind of knew I should have, but I didn't, and he went out there and did his thing. Or Jackson did. But if DK's out, I think Jackson's a great start. Bijan Robinson, it seemed like he got sick Saturday night, Sunday morning or something like that. He only had 0.3 points. He will be on the disappointments for the week, but it was just it wasn't a good week for Bijan, and I think it's going to be kind of like the Jahmyr Gibbs thing. And I think if he wasn't sick, I'm sure he'd be out there and he'd be out there to go do his thing. But again, as I always say, it is only Tuesday, so we'll just have to see. Hopefully he gets healthy, and hopefully he's out there running the ball on Sunday. But if not, we're going to have to keep an eye out, and I'll give you some running backs that went off this past week that I think could be good starts if Bijan and other guys are out. Justin Fields, it seems like he's going to be out for this week against the Los Angeles Chargers, Sunday Night Football. Justin Fields, it looks like the Bears will be sticking with Tyson at quarterback, QB1. Can't believe I'm saying it, and it's just a cool kind of story. But I do think that Justin Fields, once Justin Fields gets in the game, and once he gets back and he's able to grip the ball with his thumb, I do believe that we will see Justin Fields be okay. Chris Godwin, he plays on Thursday night. The reason why I want to mention this is because he has a neck injury. So keep an eye out and see what happens, because if he does not play, obviously you need to make sure that you take him out of your lineup. So Chris Godwin has a neck injury. Deshaun Watson has a shoulder injury. We saw him leave this past week's game, and it doesn't look like he may play this week, but again, we'll have to see what happens. We have Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle has a back injury. He did come back into the game for like a minute, I think, but then he did leave. So keep an eye out for it. And as I always say, guys, injuries happen. They could happen later this week. We get to see guys added onto the injury report on Friday. Just make sure you keep an eye out for it and make sure that you just look at and you keep and you see if they're injured or not. Because the guys coming off of a bye, like Tank Deli, guys that were out last week, stuff like that. We do not have any teams on bye this week. So that's a good thing. Bye Mageddon is over. Now we have a week off of Bye Mageddon, and then buys will be back next week. Buys next week is going to suck, but we'll get through it. I'll be here next week to help you. So now that we talked about the injuries, let's about the 3 things that I learned, the disappointments, and then let me show you that perfect lineup for this week in fantasy football. So let's go to the 3 things that I learned here first this week. And the first thing I learned is that Bye Mageddon just sucks. I was starting guys like Darius Slayton. I was still starting Tutu Atwell. Shout out to Tutu for getting that touchdown. I didn't win in my league that week in that league that I had Tutu, but the guys that we were relying on, a lot of guys that we really weren't expecting did come out and have a really good game. Speaking of somebody, if you were starting him, Josh Downs, it seems like he's the number 2 wide receiver in Indianapolis with Gardner Minshew. I guess Gardner Minshew is a decent quarterback because if it wasn't for that safety sack touchdown or the sack fumble touchdown, the Browns defense wouldn't have had a very good game because that Colts game was crazy. It was 39-38, and it was just insane. But Josh Downs seems like he's the number 2 wide receiver in Indianapolis now. And Jahmyr Gibbs, everybody was worried about him. Everybody was freaking out. But he has returned, and he has arrived in the NFL. He did his thing. He had 20-plus fantasy points, and he proves to be, if David Montgomery is out, Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy that we can really rely on. And I do think as the season goes on, I do think they will continue to use him, and I do think it will be better as the weeks go on. But 20-plus points, I'll take it all day long. So Jahmyr Gibbs, he's arrived in the NFL. Now let's talk about the disappointments of the week. Let's talk about these guys that were just straight up bad. And hopefully you didn't have them, because if you did, you probably lost. Unless you had other guys that out and just went nuts. The Bills defense. I had the Bills defense. We saw the Patriots offense not play very well. Well, I guess they just had to play the Bills because the Bills made the Patriots look like a good offense. And it looked like Tom Brady was out there throwing the ball. But Bills only had 8 points. That's not really what we're relying on from a defense that we were hoping that we could start every week. And that was going up against the Patriots offense. That has just not been very good. Tyler Higbee, he had 1.7 points. And yes, tight ends are awful. It was National Tight End Day, and we saw guys like Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews. We saw guys have a really good game. Well, one tight end only had 1.7 point, Tyler Higbee. And then our guy over in Chicago, the Bears had a very good game. But Cole Kmet got a big fat 0, and Cole Kmet did absolutely nothing. He sat there, he blocked, and he didn't even catch a ball. So, Cole Kmet, it's okay. Hopefully you'll be back next week to get more points, because if you catch a ball, you already got more points. Zach Moss, everybody was still wondering if they could still start Zach Moss. Well, Zach Moss, you could put him on your bench now, because Zach Moss is not the guy now in Indianapolis with Jonathan Taylor back. He only had 7.2 points, and Zach Moss, I just don't know if we can rely on him like we thought we could when Jonathan Taylor was out. Austin Eckler, he had 5 points. He didn't have very many rushing yards. The Chiefs played really good defense. Austin Eckler, I don't want to worry about him. He's just coming back from an injury. I think it will take a couple more weeks, but I do believe that in a few weeks we will have the regular Austin Eckler back. He does have a good matchup against the Bears, and if the Austin Eckler just gets a couple checkdowns, he could break one, and he could run it all the way to the end zone. So hopefully that's what he does. I don't want to root against my Bears, but I just expect Austin Eckler to have a very good game. Amari Cooper only had 4.2 points. I feel like, again, this has a lot to do with Deshaun Watson being hurt, Deshaun Watson going out there and not, being able to perform. PJ Walker, he does his thing. He tries his best, but he's no Deshaun Watson, and he's no, So Amari Cooper, you're obviously going to have to start him unless you have a lot better options, but I don't want to worry about him too much because he's had quarterbacks in the past that have not been very good, and he always seems to perform. So we'll have to see about that. But those were those disappointments, and hopefully you didn't have those guys. But sadly, I had some of those guys, and the 2 leagues I had those guys in were the 2 leagues I lost in. So it was what it was. But now let's turn the page and let's look on a brighter note, because now let's look at the perfect lineup. The new thing that we're doing here, instead of doing the top performances of the week, we taken whoever was the best at each position. Those were, and we set ourselves, and we have ourselves a perfect lineup. So I'm going to show you that lineup right now. We're going to go through it, and then we're going to get ready, and then we're going to preview week 8, and then we're going to get you ready to set those winning lineups. So hopefully we could get the win, and hopefully we could do and keep going on doing our thing. So let's take a look at this perfect lineup. And guys, the Bears are in it twice. Who would have thought Chicago Bears in the perfect lineup? I'm going to cheers to that. I forgot what he used to say, but he was like, cheers to victory, and he'd take a giant swig of his orange Gatorade. So that's what I'm going to do, except it's my water. But let's talk about this perfect lineup. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, both on here. Patrick Mahomes, though, had 41 points. He had 400 yards. It was incredible to watch him do this. It was just insane. Deontay Foreman had 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 receiving, 33 fantasy points. Hopefully you started him, and hopefully you got those points, because he had himself a day. Alvin Kamara comes back. It's like he never left. He only took a 3-week vacation. He comes back, and he's putting up 20 burgers every week. 29.3 points, Alvin Kamara doing his thing, and AK is the number 1 running back the rest of the season. Jordan Addison last night, 31.3 yards. He caught a 60-yard passing touchdown with 4 seconds left on the clock right before halftime. That really helped it. And yes, that's 12 points right there. So if you take that away, he's probably got what? He's got, if you take that away, that's 29, or that's 19 points. So still a very good game, but that definitely helped him get in the top and be the number 1 wide receiver this week. Sunday Night Football, we saw our guy Jadis's Eagles fly really high, and A.J. Brown did his thing, and he had 29.7 points. A.J. Brown went out there. He did his thing, and he continues to prove why you shouldn't worry about these prime players that we rely on, because eventually they get going and they do their thing. My guy Travis Kelce, I drafted him. Everybody made fun of me. Well, now he's putting up 35.9 points. He's got Tay Swift on his side. He's got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And Travis Kelce putting up 35.9 points. And that $50 was well worth it, because he's putting up those numbers almost every week. So hopefully he continues it, and hopefully he continues why he is that number 1 tight end. Want to give a shout out to Mark Andrews for doing his thing too. He had about 20 points. So Mark Andrews, another tight end, great day, phenomenal game. Jahmyr Gibbs, we just mentioned him. He had 27.6 points. Jahmyr Gibbs went out there. He did his thing. And as I said earlier, it looks like he's there. And as long as David Montgomery is out, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the number 1 running back. And I think you could trust him in your lineups. And I think, especially in PPR leagues, I think that he'll be a very good option. And I think he'll be a very good start. So Jahmyr Gibbs is a guy that we can now hopefully, at least I'm just praying, hopefully that we can trust, and that we can go out there and then we can put it on lineups. Now, let's talk about this defense, guys, because who would have saw this coming last week? Not this guy. Because last week at this time, I told you to start the Raiders defense, and well, that didn't work very well, because the team that they were facing was the Chicago Bears, and the Chicago Bears showed up like it was 2018, like they were the Bears of old, and they went out there. They had a pick 6. Jalen Johnson had two interceptions. It was a good day. The Bears were back, and the Bears were feeling it. They were the number 1 defense this week, putting up 20 points in other leagues, 15 in certain leagues, depending on what your scoring is. But my Chicago Bears, 2 players in the top performances of the week, hey, I'll take that all day long. And I don't really care what anybody's got to say. The Bears could lose the rest of the games. I'll always have the game against the Raiders, and I'll always have Thursday night in Washington. So let's hope that's not the case. But I'll always take it, and I'll just enjoy it when it lasts. So this was the perfect lineup for week 7. They scored 248.7 points. And if you had this lineup, there is no way you lost, because there was nobody else better. It was like Family Feud. You picked the best at each position at each question. So, guys, now that we did all of that good stuff, I appreciate all you guys coming and hanging out. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Remember, you want to be a part and you want to be in the chat. You want to make sure that you are here. You want to win the MVP. Hopefully, ask some good questions. Hopefully, everybody's doing all of that good stuff. Let me know what you guys are feeling. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys got for how you guys feeling about your teams? Let me know what you guys are feeling. So that's what we got. But now let's get to it and let's preview week 8 and let's get ready to set those lineups and help you get that W. Teams on bye, there's no teams on bye, guys. So we're good. Teams on bye, there's no teams on bye. So we don't have to worry about that. And honestly, I was looking at the injury report. Other than the few guys that were added this week, there really weren't any major injuries. So let's see. Let's go back to last week and let's see if I got any of the bold predictions right before we do this week's bold predictions. Last week, I said the Chiefs and Chargers would score 100 points. That didn't happen, but for the first quarter there, I really thought it would happen. A backup will be a top scorer this week. Does the Devontae Foreman count as a backup? I mean, he was a backup, so maybe. I don't know. But Deontay Foreman did his thing. We had a few other guys go out there and have a good game. I don't know. The Eagles and Dolphins don't punt. And fun fact, they didn't punt until the third quarter. So, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like that was right. Or was that last night? Was that last night's game? It might have been last night's game, but I swear, a game did not punt until the third quarter this week. It might have been last night's game, but yeah. So those were last week's bold predictions. Now let's do this week's bold predictions. The Giants are going to beat the Jets. The Jets, they're going to be good, and I think you still start your Jets players. I think you start the Jets defense this week too, but I'm just going to say bold, and I think with Saquon Barkley back, the Giants looked a lot better than I think people expected them. So maybe Saquon Barkley was that missing link. The Giants are going to beat the Jets. Bold prediction. But I hope the Jets beat the Giants because I'm going to have Breece Hall. And I don't know. But, yeah. Kirk Cousins going to throw 6 touchdowns against those Green Bay Fudge Packers. Green Bay's defense, they didn't look great they looked okay against Denver. But they had 2 weeks to prepare. Denver's not a very good team. And the fact they only gave up 17 points to them and their offense didn't look good. Kirk Cousins is a very good quarterback. We saw what he did against the 49ers. He almost had 4 touchdowns. And thank goodness for a couple pass breakups, or he would have got more. But, I mean, Kirk Cousins, I think he can do it. So I'll say 6 touchdowns against the Green Bay Packers. And speaking of the NFC North, the Lions got destroyed last week. And I think we saw Tyson go out there and do his thing against this team last week. I think the Lions score 50 points. They bounce back, and they get back on the ride because everybody's jumping off the bandwagon. And it's so funny to watch when a team loses 1 week, how much fans just have a freak out. So the Lions are going to score 50 points this week. That's what I think is going to happen. So those are my bold predictions for week number 8. Now, let's get into the waiver wire pickups, and let's get into the starts, the sits, and the streams, and all of that. So let's get to the waiver wire pickups, and the top 5 waiver wire pickups of the week is number 5. I got Taysom Hill taking on the Colts. Taysom Hill, he's put at a tight end, deeper leagues, 2 tight end leagues, depending on what type of a league you're in. I know there are no injuries, but you can never have enough tight ends because tight ends are always going to be useful. Jalen Reed for the Green Bay Packers, I had him a few weeks ago. I picked him up for a spot start for somebody that was hurt. I forgot who it was. But Jalen Reed didn't have a good game, but Christian Watson seemed to get hurt. Jalen Reed got a little bit more involved. So against the Vikings, and as I said, I think Cousins throws a lot of touchdowns. If the Packers are going to keep up, they got to throw it to somebody. So Jaden Reed might be a good option this week. We never can have too many tight ends. Dalton Kincaid is my tight end pickup of the week at number 3. Taking on the Buccaneers on Thursday Night Football. It's the Buffalo Bills taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let's see if Buffalo can get back on track. But Dalton Kincaid, if you need a tight ends are just so hard to come by unless you obviously have Travis Kelce. Maybe Kyle Pitts if you're trusting him again. But Dalton Kincaid, I think, is a decent option this week. Kendrick Bourne taking on the Dolphins. I don't know what the Patriots offense is going to look like. I don't know if they were just having themselves a good week. I don't know what it was, but Kendrick Bourne, if you need a wide receiver taking on the Dolphins, Patriots are going to have to throw the ball. But I think Kendrick Bourne is a very decent option this week. Darrell Henderson, the Rams, you pulled the shenanigans on us because last week I told everybody to go pick up Zach Evans, and hopefully you didn't get him because the Rams decided on Friday, Saturday they were going to run with Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman. Yes, Royce Freeman, the guy that was on the Denver Broncos. Well, Darrell Henderson and Royce Freeman both went out there and had a very good game. And I'm going to tell you guys to pick them up, but they were taking on the Cowboys defense this week. And the Cowboys defense only allowed 10 points to Christian McCaffrey. So I'm not going to feel too confident about starting the Cowboys this week, or Darrell Henderson, I should say. Honestly, the only Rams I'm probably going to start is Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. But that's only because you probably have to. And I just don't know because the Cowboys coming off of a bye. They got a win. They're feeling a little good. So maybe the Cowboys come out and they demolish them, and it's not a very good game for the Rams. So pick up Darrell Henderson Jr. But if you have better options, I definitely think about sitting them. Just make sure you have him on your team if you have him. And if you were able to get him, I wasn't able to get him. I'm going to try in a couple leagues, but I don't think I'll be able to get him. So now let's get into the starts, the sits, and the streams of week number 8. And the guys I'm going to tell you to take out of your lineup, the guys I tell you to put in, and the guys that I tell you to put in for the guys I tell you to take out of your lineup. So let's get into it, and let's start with the starts. And the starting quarterback of the week, he had a phenomenal game against the Lions last week. Lamar Jackson going up against that Cardinals defense. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens just are on a different type of a run right now, and Lamar Jackson going to go out there and do his thing. Isaiah Pacheco taking on the Denver Broncos. We just talked about that game and everything else like that. But I will say that I do not believe that the Denver Broncos are going to be able to stop Isaiah Pacheco. So start Isaiah Pacheco against that awful Denver Broncos defense. And I think it's going to be similar to when the Bears played the Chiefs. And I think that's probably what's going to happen. But again, the divisional matchups are a little different, so who knows? Anything can happen, guys. Again, I could say all of these things right now, and in reality, nothing's going to happen. So we'll just have to see. But Dalton Schultz, if you have a tight end problem, you don't start Dalton. If you do have, if you do not have a tight end problem, if you have Travis Kelce, if you have Mark Andrews, if you have Sam Laporta, you don't start him over Dalton Schultz. But if you're running with random guys that you don't know who they are, you go out there and you start Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz has had 3 touchdowns in his last 3 games. He's went out there and he seems to be more and more in tied with CJ Stroud. And I mentioned this in the first couple weeks about how rookie quarterbacks really like their tight ends. I was talking about Bryce Young with Hayden Hurst. Well, CJ Stroud doing that thing with Dalton Schultz. So Dalton Schultz taking on the Panthers coming off of a bye week. I think he's going to be a very good option. The defense of the week, I know Jadis is going to like this one if Jadis is still in the chat. The Eagles are going to be my starting defense of the week. They're taking on the Washington Commanders, I should say. I almost called them the football team, but the Washington Commanders. And I think the Eagles are going to have a good game. Sam Howell got sacked like 50 times by the Giants, and I think the Eagles are just going to feast on the Commanders on Sunday. Now the sits for the week. I just talked about the Cowboys. I don't know if you're going to start Matthew Stafford with no teams on a bye, with a few quarterbacks out, but I mean, you go pick up Gardner Minshew, you go pick up CJ Stroud, you go pick up, there's a few other guys you can go and pick up. So Matthew Stafford, I think we're going to put him on our bench this week. Zach Moss, as I mentioned, Jonathan Taylor seems to be back, so Zach Moss is time to go back to the bench. And don't drop Zach Moss because if anything does happen to Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss obviously becomes another running back that we can trust. But with Jonathan Taylor right now being in the game a little bit more, and it's only going to increase as the weeks go on, I think that Zach Moss can go on our bench for now. I just told you to pick up Jalen Reed, and I think if you do and you have to start him, I think that it could be a very good option. But if you have better options, I don't know if I'm trusting the Packers offense right now. They went out and they played the awful Denver Broncos, and they made the Denver Broncos look like they were the defense that brought Peyton Manning to the Super Bowl because they didn't do very much. The wide receivers had a decent game because Jordan Love had to throw it down the field a few times, but It wasn't anything crazy. So if you're in a bind, definitely start Jalen Reed and stuff like that. But I don't know if we're going to start him this week if you have really good options. As I always say, don't sit any tight ends. Obviously, like don't start a backup tight end. But it's hard to sit tight ends, guys, because there's not too many good ones. And the tight end position is so hard to come by. The defense I'm going to tell you to sit. I don't know if you were going to start them anyway, but if anybody was trying to think a little crazy or outside the box, please don't. Please do not start the Cardinals defense. Did anybody just see what the Ravens offense did to the Detroit Lions? The Ravens are probably going to do the same to the Cardinals. That's why I'm telling you to start Lamar Jackson, but you sit that Cardinals defense. So now that I told you all the guys I need you to sit, let's talk about those guys that you can start and you can put in your lineup you can feel good about. We got CJ Stroud coming off of a bye week. This is more of like 2 quarterback leagues, depending on who your quarterbacks are, stuff like that. CJ Stroud coming off of a bye. He's had very good games. He's had a few not good games, or he's had about like a game and a half where it hasn't been very good. But CJ Stroud, I think, coming off of a bye, I think he'll be better, and I think he'll do very good. Jaylen Warren taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I wouldn't really want to tell you to start a Pittsburgh Steeler, but if you're in a injury front, if you're dealing with injuries, you don't know what to do. If you had not Kareem Hunt, hopefully you got Kareem Hunt because he might be the number 1 running back in Cleveland with Jerome Ford being out now possibly. But I mean, if you have Nick Chubb and you weren't able to get Kareem Hunt, Jaylen Warren might be a good option. He's had 10 plus points in every game this year. He had 10 points this last week. I mean, I'll take 10 points all day long. So stream him this week if you have the option. Kendrick Bourne taking on the Dolphins. I told you to pick him up. I'm going to tell you to stream him this week. I'm really hoping the Dolphins stop the Patriots, but I don't know because the Eagles kind of exposed them also. So Kendrick Bourne, I think he's a good option this week. Taysom Hill, streaming tight end. Depending on what he is positioned in your league, my league, he's all a tight end in all of my leagues. So if he is that in yours, stream him. Because tight ends, as I said earlier, you can't sit any tight ends. But you can start tight ends. You can stream tight ends. And just make sure you start the right tight end. Now, the streaming defense of the week, I know I said that the Giants might beat them. But I'm still going to start the Jets defense if you're streaming defenses. Because the Giants give up, and the Giants, I know the Giants had a very good game last week. I know they did what they had to do. But the Jets defense has been very good. They've stopped teams. They've beat teams that nobody thought they were going to beat. They stopped winning streaks. So I think the Jets defense could be a very good option this week to stream. So stream that Jets defense. And those are my starts, my sits, and streams for week number 8. So before we get into the pick'em and the guarantees and all of that, Tino is going to take a drink of water because his mouth's kind of getting a little dry. And nobody wants that. So let's do it. And let's go over last week's games. And let's talk about what we had and what our record was last week. So, can't believe I'm saying it, but shoot, I forgot to write down last week's. I think I was 11. Oh, no, okay. Right. Okay, hold on. No, okay. I think I was 11. I think I was. No, I'll just do that. Week number 8. Or no, okay. Wait, no, this is week 7. Never mind. Anyway, let's go over it. Let's see. We got the Bills and Patriots. I took the Bills. We took the Falcons and the Buccaneers. I took the Falcons. I want to make sure I know the scores. The Falcons, Raiders, and Bears. We took the Raiders because I really thought the Raiders were going to win, but the Bears won, so I'll take it. We took the Seahawks. The Seahawks won. Took the Chiefs. The Chiefs won. I think I took the Dolphins. I took the Dolphins last week. Yeah. So we lost that one. I took the Giants. The Giants won. Took the Lions. No, I took the Ravens. I did change that. I did take the Ravens. Okay. We took the Browns. The Browns won barely. We took the Rams. Did the Rams win? The Rams did win. And then we took we took Green Bay and they lost. So we got 1, 2, 3. I think I got 3 wrong again. So we got 3 wrong. Oh, and then what was the Thursday night last week? I forgot already. Oh, the Jags and the Saints. The Jags and Saints. I took the Jags, I think. Yeah, I took the Jags. Yeah. So we went 11-3. I'm doing good on these picks, though. I will say that. So now let's go over. No, I don't want to leave the page. Why are you trying to have me leave the page? Week number 8. Let's go and do it. Now let's get into and let's see if I did not get the right one. Well, now let's go through these games, guys, and let's go through week number 8. And as Jadis wants me to do, I will give you my predictions for the scores too. So let's go through the scores. Let's go through all the games and everything else like that. And I will let you know who we got. Thursday. Let's do Thursday first. Thursday, we got the Bills and the Buccaneers. Let's take the Bills to win 27-24. I think they get back on track. On Sunday now, we got the Green Bay Fudge Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. Let's take the Vikings to win 31-21. We got the Raiders and Lions. Let's take the Lions to win. And let's just say, let's be bold here on this one. And let's say they hit the 50 points. And let's say they win 50-28. I'll say that. Then we got the Rams and the Cowboys. Let's take the Cowboys to win 24-17. We got the Falcons and Titans. Let's take the Titans to win. Let's say the Titans get their first win. And let's say it's 17-10. The Titans get that first win. It's a Super Bowl rematch of Super Bowl, I think it was at 43? 43, I think it was. Somebody let me know in the chat if that's right. Colts and Saints. Look up what Super Bowl that was. We got the Colts and Saints. Let's say the Colts win. Let's say Gardner Minshew has a very good game at home, and let's say they have a good day. And let's say they win. Let's say they put up 30 points again. Let's say they win 35-28. 35-28. They win by a touchdown. We got the Patriots and Dolphins. Let's say this game is 17-3. Let's say the Dolphins win 17-3. I don't know how good the Patriots are really going to play. We got the Jets and the Giants. Let's say the Jets win 21-10. 21-10 Giants. I think defensive game. Jaguars and Steelers. Let's say this is a little higher scoring than usual. Let's say it's 45-31. We got the Eagles and Commanders. I think the Eagles are going to win 35-0. I don't know. The Commanders are just not that team anymore. The Texans and the Panthers. The Texans, I think, continue to beat down on the Panthers. And I think the Panthers lose 20. Let's say 30-20. 30-20 Texans. We got the Browns and Seahawks. Now, this game might be a very good game, and I don't know how it's going to go. So, I'm going to say the Browns by 3. I'm going to say it's 28-25. I don't know how they get to 25, but I'll say they win by 3. We got the Chiefs and the Broncos. These divisional matchups could be, and they could go either way. But let's say it's like 20, or let's say it's 45-21 Chiefs. Broncos keep up a little bit, and then the Chiefs do what they always do, and they get a bunch of yards and they get a bunch of points. We got the Ravens and the Cardinals. Ravens and the Cardinals. Let's say the Ravens win 27-21. We got the Bengals and the 49ers. 49ers have not had a very good few weeks. Let's say the 49ers win 35-28. I'd say it's higher scoring than maybe. That may be usual. By the way, the Raiders and Lions is on Monday night. Raiders and Lions Monday night. And then Sunday night, we got the Los Angeles Chargers taking on my Chicago Bears. And let's say the Chargers win 38-21. I'll say the Chargers have an explosion on Sunday night. So those are my picks for week number 8. So we'll come back here next week and we'll see how we do. So you guys let me know in the chat how you guys are doing, how you guys are feeling and all of that. But we got one more thing to do, and then we will get to the chat and I will answer all of your questions. So the last thing we're going to do here is I'm going to tell you my guarantees that are going to happen. So I guarantee you something is going to happen crazy in Miami. Remember the Miami Miracle. We remember crazier things that happen. We've seen things happen nonstop. And I think something else crazier could happen. Miami and New England, there's just something about it. They always having crazy things happen. So something crazy is going to happen in the Dolphins and the Patriots. Sam Howell, I don't know if he's going to have a bad start, but I just don't know how good of a start he's going to have. And with all the guys back for the most part, with no bye weeks, I feel like Sam Howell could be left on your bench. And I feel like I guarantee you this week is not going to be a good week. He might not have a bad week, but I don't think he's going to have a great start. Isaiah Pacheco, the Denver Broncos made the Packers look like a big bunch of kids. So Isaiah Pacheco is going to make the Packers go back or the Broncos, I should say. So the Broncos are going to now go back to be giving up points. And Isaiah Pacheco, I guarantee you guys, is going to have two interceptions, 2 touchdowns. And Isaiah Pacheco is going to be a top running back next week at this time. So after I got through all of that information for you guys, let's get to it and let's start answering all of your questions. Let's see what everybody's saying. Let's see what everybody's feeling. And how are you guys doing? And how you guys... We got Halloween Havoc tonight, all that good stuff. So, yeah. Well, let's get to the chat now. We got Jadis in the house. Jadis, how you doing? Jadis is here to win the MVP. Remember, guys, make sure that you let me know how you guys are doing, what you guys are feeling, what kind of questions you got. You could have a chance to win the MVP of the episode today. What's up, Jadis? What's up? What's up? The NFL was crazy. It really was this week. There was a lot of things I did not expect to happen. And that's why I always say, any given Sunday, guys, you really just never know. No one saw Ravens and Lions being nobody saw that. I feel like what happened in the Browns and Colts game is what I thought would happen in the Ravens and Lions game. So, yeah. Yeah, I thought it would definitely come and yeah. 49ers Vikings, that the interesting game, the 49ers and Vikings, it was, but it made me mad. Steelers Rams was a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. Falcons, Bills, Patriots, and most boring game was Ravens Lions. Bears Raiders was boring. Hey, I don't even care. The Bears win. I will not be sad about that every time the Bears blow out a team, especially when the Bears get blown out all the time. Jace, that might have been the game of the week. Not so many injuries of week. I know, thank goodness. But he had 2 touchdowns, so he was fine. He put up points. Hey, what's up, Jackie? Tino didn't know. Hey, I got 1 win. No, I got 1 win. I went 1-2 this week. Jackie is not new, Jadis. She's in the chat all the time. You don't see her, I guess. Daniel Jones going to be back this week. I don't know if he's going to be back. Daniel Jones is another injury guy. I'm just going to say it was good only because people have been saying Eagles, Dolphins was, hey. Oh, my God. Jadis, you're funny. He said, the refs didn't win us that game. You sound like an Eagles fan. It's okay, Jadis. Hey, that's what I always say. That's why when everybody says stuff about the Bears winning, I'm just like, listen, a win's a win. I take it when I can. I'll enjoy every second of it. Bears blew the Raiders out with a backup quarterback. Both quarterbacks, Bears backup was asked, you don't make it as a starter in the NFL. He said, if I don't, then I'll just go back to high school and be a teacher. I mean, that's sometimes the kind of mindset you guys got to have because, yeah. Most boring game, most exciting game, probably Texans, Panthers, Steelers, Jaguars, Jets, Giants. Going to be a low-key boring game. Most exciting game, probably Bills, Buccaneers. Yeah, honestly, I feel like the most exciting game. So let's go through it, Jadis. So I feel like the most exciting game very well might be the Browns and Seahawks. The most exciting game, Bengals and 49ers. And most boring game, probably the Eagles and Commanders, because the Eagles are probably just going to beat on the Commanders. Tino, should Sky Blue join House of Black? It looks like she might be doing that. Yeah, no way. Panthers coming back from 0-6. No chance. I just keep losing. Just keep giving the Bears the higher pick. Ravens beat the crap out of the Lions. Yes, they did. Tyson could be a freak. I mean, Jadis. Okay, listen. It's one game. I want to see him go out there and do it again. But I just don't want to get my hopes up too much. Because, yeah. So, that's the thing. Everybody all of a sudden wants to be, and everybody wants Tyson to be the quarterback. And as exciting as it was to watch a quarterback go out there and do his thing on Sunday, I just don't know if he's going to be able to. Hey, I hope he does. And if he does, that's awesome. That's beautiful. But until I see it, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Oh, my goodness. I wanted to talk about this, guys. Brittany Mahomes and Taylor Swift. Oh, my goodness, bro. They got the best handshake of them all. They got the this, they got the that, they got the turn, they got the bump. They got it all, bro. Come on. Yeah, his knee brace, but they said he'll be fine and he'll be good to go. We got the final game 7 of the NLCS, everybody. NLCS is tonight. Find out who will take on the Texas Rangers starting on Friday. Speaking of the World Series, guys, we will be having an episode on Thursday before we go live on and for Madden on Sunday night or Thursday night. Remember, Madden has been changed to 7 o'clock. So we will be doing a Thursday doubleheader as we talk the MLB World Series and we talk WWE or not WWE, I'm sorry. We play some Madden. So we got that going on Thursday. Let's just get Jalen Hurts until the bye. If he's you'll be fine. Jadis, have the Bears problems, bro. You'll be fine. Bro, Jordan Addison is best even without bro. The reason why Jordan Addison is getting all these catches and everything, though, is because of Justin Jefferson being out. So I wouldn't get too excited just yet. Carolina Panthers 0-6. When will Justin Fields be back? Probably a couple weeks. Justin Jefferson, he's out at least 2 more weeks. So week 10, 11 for Jefferson. Jahmyr Gibbs isn't having a good season. Bijan Robinson having a better season. I mean, not yesterday. It's all about the present. And Bijan Robinson on the downfall and Jahmyr Gibbs on the uprise. Just saying. He said, George, listen, I was mad at George Kittle for a couple hours last night, but I got over it. Dallas Goedert got me about like 14 points. Not bad. Eagles traded for Kevin Boyd. I'll give it like a B+. I think he'll fit into this game. No teams on bye. Yes, sir. Finally. These teams on byes are just not a good time. Last night game was 49er. Yeah. New York Jets are going to beat the New York Giants. 50 is what? Hey, I'm just saying. It's possible, Jadis. We got 8 people in the house. Make sure you guys leave your questions, your concerns, how you guys are doing. It's like if Cooper Kupp has a bad game, it's like Puka's yeah. It'd be like that. Knew that the Panthers suck because they have zero. I mean, I hope so. I hope that's what Ryan Pace knew what he was doing. Jadis has got a question. Who is the best tight end on National Tight End Day? Can you? Okay, Jadis. It was obviously Travis Kelce. But if you're rating their performances, it goes Kelce, Andrews, Kittle, and then Goddard. So yeah. New Giants sack Sam Howell. Yeah, so okay, so they changed him 6 times. Or they sacked him 6 times. Butter Baker is back. Lions 34-17, 21-14, 52-0, 27-21. Chicago, hey, I'll take another Bears win. Chicago Bears 38-31. So yeah, Sky Blue. Yes, I think she is going to eventually. Hey, we got a W. Famous, I appreciate you. Hey, we got Freddie in the house. What's up, Freddie? Thank you for stopping by. Would you trade St. Brown, Jacoby Myers, and one of Breece Hall, JT, Moser, Saquon for AJ Brown and Devontae Adams? I also got. I would not do that because the amount of points you're going to get from St. Brown, Jacoby Myers, and Breece Hall, especially Breece Hall lately, and Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers has been better than Devontae Adams as of late. So I think you stick with Myers, St. Brown, and Breece Hall. And you have Mostert and JT's coming over. Bro, I think you're good. Bro, I would not. And you got Tyreek Hill? Bro. Killing it. Freddie, appreciate you stopping by. What about Daniel Jones? I have not heard anything about Daniel Jones yet, but we'll have to see. Would you trade K9, I'm assuming that's Kenneth Walker, and Lockett for Rashid White, Chris Olave, and Marquise Brown? My other running backs are Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, and my other wide receivers are Kupp, London, and Godwin with Jetta out. So you would be trading Kenneth Walker and Lockett for Rashid White, Chris Olave, and Marquise Brown. Honestly, I'd stick with the Seahawks players. I'd stick with Walker and Lockett because Rashid White isn't really doing too much. Chris Olave's had a decent game last week, nothing crazy. Marquise Brown, I just don't trust that Cardinals offense. And as you said, you have Mixon. Mixon's good. Jones, I think, will be okay eventually. Najee is just what Najee's going to be. You also have Kupp, London, and Godwin, which I think is great. And you have Jetta. Jetta will be back in a few weeks. So I think you stick with Kenneth Walker, and I think you stick with Tyler Lockett because Rashid White just worries me. Now, if Rashid White was replaced with somebody else, maybe. But I don't know. Daniel Jones out for week 8. Again, as I said, Jadis, it is only Tuesday. So we will definitely have to see what happens. But again, it is only Tuesday. So we'll just have to see. Julia Hart and Sky Blue as a tag team. I mean, hey now. Chris wants as a tag team. So guys, continue to ask your questions. Those are all the questions we got as of now. So answer and drop all of your questions, guys. And then we will answer them as we get them. But before we go here today, let's go over what we got going down. As guys, remember, this Wednesday, tomorrow, is our last AEW Dynamite live stream. Besides, winter is coming, the etc. pay-per-views like Fyter Fest and stuff like that, the Wednesday specials. This Wednesday will be our last regular AEW Dynamite until 2024. So make sure you come and hang out tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. And then remember, next week is our last NXT live stream, and unless it's a special like Halloween Havoc, if it's New Year's Evil, if it's whatever it may be. So remember, guys, that we're not doing AEW Dynamite and NXT anymore starting November 1st. The new schedule will go into effect next week, next Thursday. So let's go over what we got going down for Halloween Havoc tonight. Yes, I said that Halloween Havoc is the night. It's a 2-week special. So get your costumes out early. make sure you come and hang out tonight. But let's go over the card real quick. We got the family taking on Chase U for the tag team championships. We got two breakout performance matches with Lola Vice taking on Carmen Petracha. I think that's how you say her name. I feel like I'm saying her name wrong, but it's Carmen. And then we got Kalani Jordan. Happy birthday to Kalani Jordan. Taking on Ariana Grace. Kalani Jordan's birthday was a few days ago. And then we also have two women's matches, guys. It's time to spin the wheel and make the deal, as we have ourselves Kiana James taking on Roxanne Perez. We have Blair Davenport taking on Gigi Dolan. And then we have the debut also of Brian Pillman Jr., now known as Lexus King. So, Lexus King, welcome to WWE, welcome to NXT, and he's making his debut tonight. And then in the main event of the evening, it is for the NXT Women's Championship. It's Lyra Valkyria taking on Becky Lynch for that NXT Women's Championship. So, that's what we got going down here tonight for NXT. And I just want to remind you guys, if you guys have not seen yet, starting as of next Wednesday, it will go into effect. We will be starting this schedule on Thursday because next Wednesday, I have to take my car in to the car dealership. So we will not be having a live stream on Wednesday, sadly, next week. But starting November 2nd, we will be starting here the new schedule, this schedule to be exact, Thursday, November 2nd, as we start with Thursday Night Football. So if you have not seen yet, here is the full schedule for the new schedule changes. And let's go through it real quick in case you didn't know. And now you will know. So the schedule will be changed until November or as of November until February 2024. And it goes like this. Monday, we'll be here for Monday Night Raw. We'll be here for Monday Night Football. Same as usual. Tuesday, we'll be here for our fantasy football show as we are right now. We're here. We're talking some fantasy football. We get ready to have you lineup set. But there's going to be a little change to it. There's going to be a little time change to it. And instead, we're going live at 5 o'clock. So it's going to be a few hours early or a few hours later. But I'm hoping that more people will be available. I'm hoping maybe we get more guests on. Maybe we'll have more people in the chat and everything else like that. So 5 o'clock starting Tuesday. Not next Tuesday, the following Tuesday. So it will be November 7th will be the first fantasy football show at 5 o'clock here on the channel. Wednesdays starting November 9th, November 8th, I should say, because as I said, next Wednesday, I got to take my car into the dealership, got to get it ready for Survivor Series. So I had to make an appointment. It was only the only appointment that they had. So Wednesday, we will not be here live next week, but the following week, we will be beginning the MyGM, the Ultimate Shakeup. It's going to be new rosters, new brands, and new everything as we have the MyGM. And then, remember, every other week, we will be coming here on Wednesday nights also and playing some WWE 2K23. So the MyGM episodes will be in the afternoon, and then the WWE 2K episodes will be on at night. So then Thursdays, Thursday Night Football, the rest of the Thursday Night Football season will be here every Thursday to watch Thursday Night Football because that's what we're going to be doing here. Now, the Southside boys are done. Baseball season will be over. We can come here. We can watch some Thursday Night Football. Fridays, Friday Night Cinema, and afternoons on Fridays will be for like preview shows, stuff like that, all that good stuff. So Fridays, Friday Night SmackDown, and as I said, Thursday mornings, Thursday afternoons, Friday mornings, Friday afternoons will be used for preview shows, stuff like that, extras, whatever's going on. Saturdays, it's for Madden 24. We're going to come here, we're going to play some Madden, we're going to get ready for the week upcoming, and we're just going to have a good time. We will also still be doing retro pay-per-views, so keep an eye out for the retro pay-per-views. Those will probably be on like a Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, depending on when we have Madden scheduled. Maybe a Tuesday night. Maybe we'll do one on a Tuesday night instead of NXT. So we'll still be having retro pay-per-views. I will still be doing preview shows for all the shows, NXT, AEW, and AEW, NXT, and WWE. We will still be going live for all the pay-per-views for Full Gear, Double or Nothing, New Year's Evolution, New Year's Evolution, New Year's Evil whenever they have it, all the pay-per-views that are Deadline, every pay-per-view for NXT and AEW. We will still be doing preview shows, still be going live for the pay-per-views. It's more or less than just taking away Dynamite and then NXT and changing a few things. So remember, guys, starting next Thursday, this schedule goes into effect, and it all starts with Thursday Night Football. As I don't think it's as an exciting of a game as I was hoping for it to be, but it will do, as it will be the Tennessee Titans taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. First Thursday Night Football game we will be doing is that one, so make sure that you come and hang out. Thursday Night Football, the Titans and the Steelers. So that is everything that we have here for the channel changes, guys. And if you have any other questions, remember, just ask me. I'm not going to bite you. I'm just going to answer it and everything else. So let me know. Could you rank, what's up, Fred? Could you rank Breece Hall, Mostert, Saquon, and JT from most valuable to least valuable rest of season? And would you trade any of them for Bijan? Thanks. So rest of season, I feel like if you're gonna rate them, I feel like you gotta go Saquon, because as long as Saquon is healthy, I think Saquon is the number one running back. So I'm gonna go Saquon. Jonathan Taylor, I want to say Jonathan Taylor next, but I want to see it happen for him a few more weeks. But I will leave him there for right now. But I'll go Saquon. I will go Breece Hall. I'll go Raheem Mostert, and I will go Jonathan Taylor. And I only rank Breece Hall a little bit higher because Raheem Mostert has to deal with Samad Ahmed, Jeff Wilson Jr. He's got to deal with Devon Aiken when he comes back. So I would go Saquon, Breece Hall, Mostert, and Jonathan Taylor. And I would not trade any of them for Bijan Robinson, only because the Falcons offense, they had a few good weeks, and not that Desmond Ridder had a bad week this past week, but I just don't know if I can trust these Falcons. And Bijan, if he's sick and he's out, I mean, imagine if he gets an injury, bro. He might be out for a few weeks. So I'm just trying to stay away from them. Dark sky blue and Julia. All right. Lakers and Nuggets. We got the basketball season starting. Full Gear, AEW Full Gear will be live here a week before Survivor Series. Because remember, guys, we will not be here live on Survivor Series or that Friday Night SmackDown, because your boy Tino will be there live in Rosemont. We'll be doing a vlog, hopefully coming out a few weeks after. But sadly, we won't be live here for that Friday Night SmackDown. We won't be live here for that Survivor Series. We won't be live Sunday either, because I got to come home. I got to drive home. So Thursday, that Thursday will be our last live stream, or Wednesday actually, because Thursday is Thanksgiving and we got to spend time with family on Thanksgiving. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we got a lot of things to get in and a lot of things to do. So make sure that you guys come and hang out all 3 days that week that we'll be live here. There's going to be a lot to do. So, yeah. But we will be here live for Full Gear. Full Gear preview show, Full Gear pay-per-view. We will be here live for that. It's Game 7. Yes, Game 7. Hey, we got Ron in the house. What's up, Ron? Thanks for stopping by, bro. I appreciate you. Thank you, Ron, for stopping by. I want to say thank you to everybody that stopped by. And as I said, guys, if you have any more questions, make sure to drop them in the comments. Drop them in the live chat. Drop them in everywhere. And I got you. We'll help you set your lineups, and we'll help you get this win this week. So, guys, that's all I have here for you today. I'm doing good, Ron. I'm doing good. Getting ready to go and then come back here in 3 hours. So, Ron, make sure you come back here and watch my NXT tonight. But, guys, that's all I have here for you. So, as I tell you guys always, remember to go and get yourself some merchandise on bonfire.com/Tino's Tom. It's Christmas season. Go get your sister a t-shirt. Go get your mom a t-shirt. Go get your dad a t-shirt. Go get a sweatshirt. Go get some merchandise and go support your boy Tino. We got super chats. Want to say thank you again on Saturday. We had the guy, the man, the myth, the legend come in here and leave a bunch of super chats. So appreciate that. Appreciate the super chats. I do appreciate it so much. So thank you guys all for the super chats. Remember, guys, to become a member, as we will be doing members only live streams. We'll be doing a members only show in November. So make sure you guys become a member and you're a part of that good stuff. So, guys, do all that good stuff. But if you can't do any of that, I understand. Money's tight. Christmas is coming up. You don't want to spend money on me. You want to spend it on people that you want to actually buy stuff for. So I understand. But if you have any extra money, if you have a few change, if you have a few loose change rolling around, go buy yourself a t-shirt. So go do all that. But if you can't, I understand. But go and do these things because they're free and they just help me out. Make sure to go follow all the social medias here on Tino's Tom, Southside Boys, Tino's Tom Wrestling, Tino's Gaming on Twitch. Go follow all the social medias. We got Tino's Tom on TikTok. We got Tino's Tom everywhere. We here all the time, guys. Go follow us on everything. Make sure, guys, go and hit that subscribe button. Let's see how much we are at exactly. We are at 1,302 subscribers. So we are at 1,302 subscribers, 98 subscribers away to 1,400. We're almost to 2K. We're 698 subscribers away to 2K. So I know it's a long way, but it's not a far way. So make sure that subscribe button as we continue to grind and go and far and fight our way to 2,000 subscribers. So, guys, hit that subscribe button. And lastly, guys, turn that notification button on so you know when we go live next, which will be tonight for NXT. Guys, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your 3 hours. Go eat yourself some dinner. And I will see you guys all tonight live for NXT. As we wind down the year on NXT, we got 2 shows left, counting tonight's, this week and next week. Let's end off NXT with some Halloween Havoc.